Now, if it's going to help you guys, put down, I suppose I should show that part on the video. If it's going to help you guys, put down HK right there. And put R right there. And I will never make you write the model. But I'm going to write it just so we can stuff the numbers in it. So you guys don't have to write the model like so every time. You can, sure, if it's going to help you. Okay. All right, Remy, what's going to go in for R squared?
2.
2 squared, which comes out to be?
4.
Yeah, and guys, don't ever leave this as 2 squared. Okay? In the equation of the circle, x stays x. And then, Sierra, we're going to put in the opposite of h, which is the opposite of 0, which is?
0.
Yeah, it's a trick question. Okay, and you did that so well, Sierra. Opposite of k, so opposite of 0 is? Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you write plus 0 or minus 0, it's the opposite of 0. Okay? Now, guys, don't ever, ever, ever leave x plus 0. Because we're smart, we know x plus 0 is just x. And we know y plus 0 is just y. Okay? All right, and we're going to take a second. Okay? All right, so if it's going to help you, label HK. And if it's going to help you, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. But, hello there, but you do not have to write the model down every time if you don't need to, okay? One thing we want to remember is when we put the center into the equation, we change the signs. When we take the center out of the equation, we change the signs, okay? All right, so off we go. Can somebody do the first part for us, please? Go ahead, Brianna. Oh, yes, thank you. All right, Brianna, you want to do that? So put h and k into the equation.
X minus j2 squared
Good.
plus y minus 3 plus 3.
So minus 3
Yeah.
squared. And then radius is 4, so what are we going to put in, Brianna?
16.
Sounds good. Okay. And then, guys, let's just do our simplifying. Okay. So final answer is x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 16. And the radius. Okay. And then I just need you to sketch a graph of what it would look like, okay? So first, okay, general form for the equation of a circle. It looks like a bit of a mess. It's x squared plus y squared plus capital dx plus capital EY plus f equals 0. Now, it is a mess. I will never ask you to graph in general form. What I'm going to ask you to do is to take an equation in general form and rewrite it in standard form. And the process is called completing the square. Okay? And once you get it into your standard form, you'll be able to graph it. So this would be, is this example 4 for us, guys? Okay. Write in standard form, give the center and the radius. She's just an evaluator.
You sure of that?
I'm sure she is. Write in standard form, give the center and the radius. Okay? Now, I promise, guys, if you follow the process, it will always work. Okay? Don't skip any steps or bad things are going to happen. Oh my. Maybe she's not.
I know the highway.
All right, you guys ready? I'll give you the steps.
What does D and E stand for?
Those are actually, D is the coefficient on X, the X term. E is the coefficient on the Y term. So those just represent coefficients, okay? Step number 1. Get all X and Y terms on the same side and group them. So anything that's written in X or Y goes on one side, everything else goes on the other side. Anybody see what we would have to move to do that, Leah?
Add 23.
Add 23. Everybody agree? All right, so add 23. Now, before we write what's on the left-hand side, I need you to group the X's together. We were worried about you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Before we do anything else, group the X's and the Y's together, or group the X's together. So we have X squared and a 4X, so those are going to be grouped together. So X squared plus 4X. Okay. And then the Y's are going to be grouped together. And what I want you to do is leave a plus blank at the end of the X's. Sorry, 6Y. And leave a plus blank at the end of the Y's. So now, let me stop there. Okay, step number 2. Divide the coefficient on the X term and Y term by 2. Okay, now, Max, you just asked me what D and E were. So can you transfer that to what is the coefficient on the X term here, Max?
4?
It is 4, very good. That's what Max was just asking me. He said, what do D and E represent? And D and E are the coefficients on the X term and Y term. So the next step is underneath the X term. We take the 4, we divide it by 2, we get positive 2.
My stomach sounds like a hurricane.
Okay, you all right? And then we take the coefficient on negative 6 and we divide it by 2 and we get negative 3. Now, it's very important, guys, that you do the parentheses. The parentheses are a big deal. Okay? Step number 3. Square those numbers and fill in the blanks. And Leah, you asked why. Why are we doing this?
No, like why two?
Why by 2? Because that'll help shrink it down into a binomial. I'll show you what it's going to look like in a second. So square both of those. So 2 squared is 4. Put it in the blank. Negative 3 squared is 9. Put it in the blank. Okay. Will it always be plus blank, guys? Remember I asked you to put plus blank. Could it ever be minus blank? Anybody know? Could it be minus blank? Why not? Somebody explain to us. Why? Very good, Kayla. You can't get a negative number when you square anything, so it's always going to be plus blank. All right, number 4, add to opposite side. Remember that when we're trying to keep an equation balanced, okay, what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So if on this side we added a plus 4 in the blank, on the right side we have to add a plus 4. On this side, if we added a plus 9 in the blank, on the right side we add plus 9. And that's the biggest mistake people make, is they forget to add those over on the other side, okay? Is the number that's in the parentheses goes down there. The number in this parentheses goes down there. So there's no actual foiling or unfoiling that you have to do. Okay? Now, if you don't trust me that these FOIL out, if I take x plus 2 and square it, first times first is x squared, outside is plus 2x, inside is plus 2x, last times last is plus 4. And then I'd get x squared plus 4x plus 4. So now do you guys trust me?
Yeah, but another way to figure that out, could you do factors of negative 6 and then that go into the perfect square of 9?
Factors of
Negative 6, or 6, yeah, negative 6 that go into 9.
kind of, I think you're saying it a little backwards. Do you mean factors of 9 that add up to negative 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, factors of 9 that add to 6. Hopefully, yeah, you can do it that way. Hopefully it's easy enough for us to remember what's in the parentheses. Okay? All right, what do we get on the right-hand side, guys? 36. Now, remember our goal was to find the center and radius. Tell me this, are we in x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared? We are? So we're good to go? All right, so could you guys pull out center and radius? Nat, you got the center? Opposite of h, which would be? Very good. And opposite of k, which would be? Excellent. And Jasmine, radius squared is 36, so radius is? Very good. Why do I have 2 sets of parentheses there? I don't know. Now, guys, the process works. Trust me, the process works. Just don't skip any steps. You don't have to do the foiling stuff or anything like that.